guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Bram. I talk about all things fashion, luxury lifestyle, travel, and shopping. I post videos Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So if those are things that interest you, then I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and become a member of my growing YouTube family. All right. And hit the notification as well, because then you will be reminded when I post videos Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Okay, let's get going. So today I wanted to talk about basically if I was to sell all my bags and I could only keep 5, what would I keep? Now, I have already talked about like my most used bags, my least used bags of like last year of 2024, things like that. So this isn't based on function. This is simply based on how my heart feels about these bags. It has nothing to do with like one in each category, one from each designer, one for nighttime, one for daytime, this is totally like just because I love the way that they look, and or for whatever reason, these are the bags that if I could only keep 5 out of what I have right now, what would I keep and why? So, and it might not be rational and it might make no sense. And looking at them all, they're all about the same size. So quite honestly, like I would have really only one category, I guess, of like daytime bags while I'm like looking at it. I would have no evening bags. I would have no like weekend bags, no like errand running bags. Like all of these are just simply the bags that I love the most in my collection for whatever reason, and I would not part with no matter what. So let's get going. All right. So number 1, let me see, what am I going to start with? I don't know. They're all my favorites. So I'm just going to go in order of how close they are to me. Number 1 is my Jungle Jeans flap. Now, I have a little bit of like a storied past with this bag. I purchased it directly from Bloomingdale's when it came out. I don't know, was it 19 or 20? I think it was 20. Maybe it was 21. I think it was 20 though. Something like that. Anyway, I purchased it directly from Bloomingdale's. I went in to see this bag probably 2 or 3 times. The reason that I kept on passing on it was, I don't know, like she opened, they open the cabinet, they show you what's in there. Constantly, every time she opened it, nobody else was buying it. I was drawn to it because I like anything that is 1980s, Golden Girls, Miami kind of vibes. And I call this my Golden Girls bag. This was like my Miami Golden Girls bag even before I moved to Miami. And it just kind of reminded me of the Golden Girls. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. I don't know. Maybe it's kind of like it's called Jungle Jeans. So it's sort of like this like palm like vibe going on. Anyway, I purchased it at the time I lived in New York. And obviously it's a dirty place. And it really didn't see much wear at all. It stood in my closet. And while I loved it, I was like, I'm not using it. And this was back when I was thinking, I guess, practically, because we've already established on my channel that at this point in time, I'm no longer selling things. Most likely, I'm no longer selling things that I like just because I'm not using them. I'm not saying I'm not selling, period, because there might be a time where I really don't want something and I want to buy something else and I really don't use it, nor do I like it, and then I will sell it. But we have established now that I no longer will sell things that I still love just because I'm not using them for the moment. So it moved with me to, I think it did. I think it moved with me to Arizona. And I found that Arizona is very dusty. If you didn't know, it is super dusty. And I feel like light colored things kind of get dirty. So it's not dirty like New York dirty. You know, it is dirty, like dust dirty, because it's a desert. So this bag just sat there, and every time I took it out, there's kind of like a film sort of on it, like a waxy. This one isn't so bad. My original one was like super, like kind of waxy, and it would just grab onto dirt and hair, and that grossed me out. So I ended up selling it, and I didn't really feel so sad about it until I moved to Florida. And then I was like, oh my God, my Florida bag, why would I do that? I love this bag. It is perfect for Florida. It's perfect for specifically Miami. It is just very South Florida vibes. It's very, like I said, 1980s, Golden Girl. It warms my soul. And I went on the hunt to get it back. So I found it at a really good price. It is back now in my collection, and I absolutely would not let it go again. I do get a lot of use out of this bag. Yeah, I use it a lot. I love it. It's extremely lightweight. It kind of just goes with everything, especially just like my color palette in general. And that's it. So that's why it is never leaving my collection again, because I refuse to buy it for a third time. Plus, it's annoying because obviously my first one was, while it was waxier, it was still like my original one and perfect from the store. This one has obviously been used, but not a lot. I got it in really good condition, so super happy about that. All right, next one. Next one is a new one. You guys saw me unbox it. It is my Chanel Vintage XL patent leather flap. Yeah. So I love this bag. Honestly, I had this, there was a 2009 version, and I had it back in 2009. And for whatever reason, it was kind of heavy. Again, I had little kids at the time. I wasn't using it a lot. It was just heavy and whatever, and I sold it. And I was always sorry that I did. And I figured one day I am going to rebuy this bag. So that day has come. I found it at an amazing price because it is patent leather. It's sort of not really my vibe anymore. I feel like I am, back then I wore black a lot because I don't know, like I was in New York and you just wear black. And the reason that you wear black in New York a lot is because it's very dirty. And so you don't have to worry about these things when you are in the street, when you are on the train, when you are like in places that are filthy. So you don't really worry about your stuff because it's black. And that's honestly, I think, why everybody wears black in New York. Black bags, black shoes, absolutely 100% of the time, because again, otherwise you're going to be filthy. So that's why. That being said, it isn't really my vibe anymore. Not as much as it used to be. However, I still really love it. I still really love Chanel vintage 90s Karl Lagerfeld. Like, it just kind of, I don't know, if you can like envision what I'm thinking right now, it is sort of like 90s Chanel, Moschino, Marciano, Anna Nicole, Cindy Crawford, big hair, mole, super sexy, right? Like, do you get it? So that's how I feel about this bag. This bag is that time to me, and I love it. And so even though it doesn't go with like my vibe at the moment, because my vibe is like lighter and airier and a little more, not necessarily girly, because I wouldn't say that I'm girly all the time, but just not as like heavy and black as it once was. But I can still appreciate it for what it is. It is absolutely one of my favorites in my collection, and I don't want to purchase it again. So that's another reason I don't want to purchase it again. I really think that I got an absolutely fabulous deal with this bag. I super love it, and it's a classic. You just can't, it's my type of classic, you know? You can't go wrong with it. Right. Next one is also another new one. It's a lot of new bags in my favorites lately for some reason. Anyway, this one is my Cherry Speedy, and I just unboxed it with you guys recently. It is my Speedy 25, obviously in the cherry print. I got it at a really good price on Fashion File. And yeah, it's a bag that I I remember when it came out, I gave you guys this story when I unboxed it. When it came out, I wasn't so into the 25. I also wasn't so focused on, I was more in love with the cherry blossom and the multicolor collection, and not so much in the cherry version. But it was the year that my son was born, and it just brings back like heavy nostalgia for that time, because I literally remember staring at this bag while he like wasn't sleeping at night, when I was just like, perusing like eBay and wherever else I was looking at all night long, because I literally wasn't sleeping, and I would sit there and rock him and scroll. And this bag is just kind of like that time period for me. So it reminds me of that. And it is sort of just a little nostalgic for me. I love it. I'm happy to finally have my hands on one. Whether or not it's a beat up one, that's fine. But I am happy to finally have it in my collection. And yeah, so that is why this one is one that I would not sell. And yeah, and that being said, I love it. I actually have been using it almost nonstop since the day that it got delivered. So for that reason, I obviously love it a lot more than I thought that I would, because again, it wasn't that it was not on my radar, but like I had a newborn, I had other things to worry about at the time. And so it wasn't something that was high on my list, even though there were other bags that were high on my list, but this one wasn't so much. But again, it just like evokes like happy fuzzy feelings of when my baby was a baby, because he is not a baby anymore. All right, guys, next one. This one was hard actually, because it is really between, I should have given myself 6. I mean, these are my own rules, but whatever. Because one of the bags that I guess I would say is a strong contender for like the top 5 spot would be my monogramouflage in the jasmine shape. That one, the only reason that I didn't put it on here, I guess it does sort of deserve a spot. I purchased that bag. I first had the Speedy. I got it off of Vestiaire for $1,500, guys, quite a few years ago, before the prices like shot up insane. But it was like a super worn in, messed up version. And I didn't wear it very much because it was big and like holding it was annoying and whatever. I wasn't so much like in my Speedy era at that moment, even though I've always loved Speedies, it just wasn't something that I gravitated towards. So I ended up selling that and not making much money on it, quite honestly. Now that the prices are insane, but it didn't have like the luggage tag. It didn't have certain things, and it just kind of, it was great, but it just wasn't like in great condition, I guess, so whatever. So I ended up selling that on. I ended up purchasing off of Vestiaire also, I believe, was the List bag. I think it's LYS, and it is like the super long version of the monogramouflage, but in the canvas. I got that. I wore that like crazy. I actually wore it one day when I took my daughter ice skating, and I realized when I got to the ice skating rink that the parents were going ice skating also. And I was like, oh, so that was stupid to carry this bag that like couldn't fit crossbody, couldn't fit on my back. And so I used it as a backpack, and I like moved, and I ended up kind of tearing it a little bit, and then I had to get it like fixed. And so it was just messed up. So I ended up selling that at some point. Also, it was like really long and big. And while I love the shape to look at, I never, ever had enough items to actually put in that bag and fill it up. So recently, not too long ago, I found it on Fashion File at a really great price in the jasmine shape. And I ended up just purchasing that because it was in like fabulous condition. And so anyway, it settles my love for, I needed a monogramouflage piece in my collection, and that one just made the most sense. So while I love it, yeah, like I said, it's a strong contender for the top 5. I guess it would probably be like number 6, right? Yeah. Luckily, this isn't like real rules, and it's not something that I have to worry about. Hopefully not. All right. The next bag is my Catagram Speedy. I love this bag. I literally never use this bag. I don't know why I never use it. I think it is because I'm scared to mess it up. I don't know why. This is literally my favorite Speedy of all time. It is, I love that it's a bandoulière just because obviously it makes it comfortable, and I am all about a crossbody. I wish it was a 25 and not a 30 just because I no longer need really the space of a 25, but whatever. It's like the classic size. So it is what it is. I love cats. I have cats. I've always had cats my whole entire life. I have one dog now, Carol, who some of you have seen before. She is also always on my Instagram. And I feel like this little puppy reminds me of Carol. She's like the only one in a sea of cats. And yeah, I just had like a fun experience with this bag in general. I remember when it came out, I had a great CA at the time in the Jersey in one of the Jersey locations, and she made it happen. I was able to get this bag back then, at least in the store that I shopped at. You were able to put yourself literally like on the list for it. Like you could reserve a bag without putting money down, which I always thought was really great. So I didn't have to pay for it until it came in. And then I decided, I don't know if that's like a everybody thing, but they allowed me to do it. And so I got this. And what else did I order? I ordered what is that, those pouches called? The three pouches? I don't remember. It's on like the tip of my tongue. But anyway, I got the 3 pouches. I wanted the 3 different colors, but instead I got all black. So I don't know. I guess she got it wrong. Whatever. I ended up returning that. And I also got a bag charm that I wanted to hang on here of like a cat kind of like falling or something. But I ended up not liking that either and returning it. I am sorry that I did those things because I would have liked more from this collection. But I absolutely love, love, love this bag. Like I said, I've probably used it 2 or 3 times. It is constantly on resale market for a pretty high price point. So it is one that I wouldn't want to part with because I know that number one, they're very hard to find. And number two, why would I pay that much to add it back into my collection? I am hoping that that never has to happen. And yeah, so it's my favorite. And I'm hoping that at some point I will feel like I want to wear it more. And yeah, I'm planning on it. This year, it's going to come out of the closet. It's going to come out of the closet. It's funny because one of my best friends also got one at the same time. We also went to the pop-up that was on, I don't know, whatever. It was down in the Village, and we by Little West 12th, I believe. And we made a whole day of it. We went in there. They had a whole bunch of stuff. They had the pajamas, all of that stuff. There's so many things that I'm like, oh, I should have gotten that. But in the end, I have my one bag. I super love it. And it's one of my top favorites. Absolutely. All right. Last one, guys. And this one is special. And I also don't use this one very much. Sometimes I use it. Not a whole lot. This is my cargo Birkin 25 in the sesame, I believe. I think it's sesame, and I don't know. It's definitely sesame though. Anyway, what else do you have to say? I am not a huge Hermes girl. I am not a huge Birkin girl. I don't have a Kelly. I am hoping to add one into my collection soon, though, in a 25, in a fun color, just because I like the fact that obviously it has a strap. The 25 is actually fairly annoying because it is very small and it kind of is annoying to hold. 30 is much easier. However, the cargo is, so let me back up a little bit. I really like the 25 size. I don't like the handles. So the 25 size is perfect for me and what I want to hold, because the 30, I'll load it up, or it's just big I don't need all that stuff. The 25 is actually pretty perfect. However, it's just that these straps it's just kind of like pain to maneuver it onto your wrist to carry it. It does not fit at the crook of your arm like a 30 does. And yeah, it is just a top handle bag. So I absolutely love this. I try not to wear it so much just because I feel like because it is the canvas, like it definitely can, I can tell that it can get like worn looking. And I highly doubt that I will, never say never, but I highly doubt that I will ever get my hands on another one. Although they do have some really cool colors that I've seen recently. Yeah, but that being said, it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, that and that is why, just because it is fun, it is a little bit of a like, casual style. So it is not so like buttoned up as like, I mean, I have other Hermes bags, and I actually like, I wear my Picotin the most. I have another 25 that I wear. I probably wear more than this. I'm just kind of like precious about this one. I do wear it, but I am a little precious about it because as I've worn it, I do see some changes in it, and it makes me nervous to keep on wearing it and like using it the way that I want to, although I know that these things are meant to be used, but it does make me a little bit nervous. Anyway, that being said, I absolutely love it. You can tell I'm speechless. I absolutely love it, but it's just one of those things that I am nervous because I don't know if I'm ever going to get my hands on another one. So that being said, guys, those are the five. Those are the five that I would keep out of my whole collection. I do still need to do a collection video with you guys. I would love to show you just everything that I have. I'm waiting on a few more pieces, and then I will probably do that. It might be a long one though, and we might do it by like brands or something. We'll see. I'll see how I can get that done relatively soon. And that's it. So thank you for watching. If you are still here and you enjoyed, I would love it if you could give me a thumbs up. I would also love to know what are some of the bags in your collection that you would definitely not get rid of at all. Like if you had to get rid of everything and you could only keep one or two, like what would you choose? I would love to know that. And yeah, what did you think about my choices? Are they ridiculous? Do they make sense? And yeah. All right, guys. So again, if you have not already subscribed, I am going to ask you again. If you would subscribe, I would be forever grateful. It is free for you, priceless for me, as I say all the time. And yeah, I'm going to put my Instagram handle somewhere over here. And yeah, I'm attempting to post more there, and I would love to do that. So come and follow me there for some like behind the scenes and daily outfits, things in real time, things like that. Other than that, that's it. I am going to post another video somewhere over here in case you haven't already seen it and you are not done with me yet. So I will see you guys soon in the next one. Bye, guys.